And it's a beautiful morning here in Peg City. And as always, it's Graeme Forsyth here on Amateur Sports TV, your host of Coffee with Graeme. And we're rolling along nicely here on the network with this show, and lots of great shows coming out on the network all around. This is just one of them, and we we're happy for all the viewers that have tuned in and given us just positive remarks about the show and just in general. And your support keeps us going, as well as our sponsors. Thanks to our sponsors so far for sponsoring every show. Your support means the most. And of course, as always, I hope you guys grab your cup of joe or whatever you guys are drinking. I'm just sticking with water today. Not that tired, surprisingly. But yeah, it is early in the morning here, about 10 a.m. And with that, we bring in our guest now, Hubert Sindikubwabo. Probably butchered that last name, but it's a hell of a last name. But Hubert just signed a deal, or just signed to the Kamloops Broncos of the Canadian Junior Football League. And right now, we bring in Hubert Sindikubwabo, or as his nickname says, Little Hubby. How's it going, Hubert?
It's going great. How are you, man?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. And last time I talked to you, we were having some technical difficulties, but I think we got those figured out today, and I'm excited to get this thing going.
Yes, sir. Me too.
Awesome. So you signed with the Kamloops Broncos, but I did notice that you had a career in basketball too, as well as you played in high school. And just looking at your stats, I found a college page with all your stats and stuff. 11.5 points per game, 83.9% free throw, field goal percentage was 60. You got a wingspan of 6'4", and you're just a monster on the court out there. So why choose to take a career in football in college at that next level rather than playing a career in basketball when you're pretty good at that sport too?
Well, it mostly just came down to going to school. My parents were really on me about going to school and getting a degree, and education is something I really like. So I always wanted to go to school and not pay for school. And
Yeah.
the best way to do that for me was just, finding my routes to go. And I had some small offers with basketball, but I just feel like if I really put the time and effort with, I can most likely pay nothing for school playing football. And that's really my goal.
For sure. And I saw your grade point average was about like a 3.42, so no doubt you're a smart kid. And obviously you made the right choice signing with the Kamloops Broncos. But before we get into the signing, I just want to go through your high school career in basketball. You started with St. Paul's, and then you obviously transferred to Dakota Collegiate. But yeah, how was that first year of high school like in basketball?
Oh, man, the first year of high school, it was so fun. I didn't end up making my JV team when I was in grade 9. So I just played grade 9 basketball, and man, it was fun. Just going out there, all the guys. The competition was subpar, but like being like that guy all the time on the team, it was just a great feeling to have. I had great guys around me too, and we end up winning our first year, the PTSD finals in grade 9 against Acadia, and yeah, that was a great feeling.
Right on. And I'm just going to pull up something quick here, this new share screen thing. Just some highlights of you playing basketball in a tournament here. What tournament was this?
This was the North Pole Hoops Showcase Invitational Camp. It just had about 50 guys, like the best guys in the province or surrounding provinces, that just came in under one gym, competed hard, had fun. There's about 24 guys that are selected to go on to an all-star game, and I was blessed to be selected as one of those guys. Our team didn't end up winning in the all-star game, but that's okay. We all had fun, and it was really just to see where I was at compared to my other peers, because that was my grade 10 summer, and I didn't really play my grade 10 year because of the transfer. So going to that camp, seeing where everyone was at, where I was compared to everybody, that was good. That was good.
Right on. And obviously from these highlights, well, I keep saying obviously, but from looking at these highlights, you're pretty pretty tenacious defender and you're a pretty good passer as well. But what would you say is the biggest strength in your game?
Biggest strength for sure is passing. I was always pretty short, wasn't really able to score, and yeah, I just really thought getting my teammates open, that was just the right thing to do, and I got pretty good at it, and yeah, it definitely became my best aspect, passing for sure.
Right on, right on. And is passing something that you've always worked on, or is it something that just kind of came natural to you?
It just kind of came naturally. I just really have good feel for the court and I have good court vision. I've always been told that by my coaches and stuff. So, yeah, I just always, I don't know, I know where a guy's gonna be before he's there, you know. So,
Right on, right on. So throughout obviously every athlete throughout their career, there's always things to work on. There's always weaknesses in their game. And basketball, what is one thing that you really focused on throughout the years and really worked on and honed in on?
definitely physicality. I knew that if I wasn't gonna be the tallest, fastest, I damn well might as well be the strongest on the court. So, I took that in, and I just thought, hey, if you're in front of me, you're not getting past me, no matter what. So, yeah.
And last year playing high school, you played for Dakota Collegiate. How was that year like? What were the experiences and the challenges that year posed?
All right. So yeah, with the transfer, I got to Dakota midway through the grade 10 year, about January. That's when the season started, and yeah, with the transfer, I couldn't play. So that was really, really tough going to practice, practicing with all the guys, knowing you're better than some guys, and just not being able to go out and help contribute to your team. It was super, super tough. But I stuck my nose in, grinded, put the work in every day. I was at those practices and just hoping to prepare for a better junior year. And my grade 11 year, it was really something special. We ended up making a Final Four run, ironically losing to St. Paul's that game. But yeah, it was just great, great, great.
Right on, right on. And were there any mentors on the team that you really looked up to really challenge yourself and get better as well?
Yeah, for sure. I had Mark Tachi and Keith Black. Those are two guys that I really just looked up to. Whatever I needed, they're always there for me. If I didn't understand something, I could always come to those guys. And even if it wasn't basketball related, it was just great people to have around. Good people.
Nice, nice. So we're gonna get into the college signing real quick. So you signed with the Kamloops Broncos on National Signing Day. What was the decision to sign with the Broncos? What did it ultimately come down to?
Huh. I was looking at a couple teams locally who had offered me a spot to play on their teams, but I just really thought if I was going to make a name for myself, I got to do it somewhere where nobody knows me, and that was just why I really chose to go away. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to pave my own way, pave my own path, and yeah, I'm just loving every bit of it.
And was there any other colleges that kind of called you, or was there any colleges that really showed interest in you other than Kamloops?
Yeah, I had Simon Fraser University. They're on me pretty hard. I also had University of Crookston. They're a Division III school out in Minnesota there, but their program, due to the hiatus, ended up getting shut down. So I had to weigh my options again, and at the end, it just came down to Simon Fraser or Kamloops, and I just really loved it out there, so I chose to sign with the boys.
Nice, nice. And what kind of education will you be taking while you're at Kamloops?
I will attend Thompson River University to pursue a degree in education, and yeah.
Education, going into education. I like it, man. I like it. So I learned yesterday that your first year playing football was actually in grade 10. So your play right now, obviously, it's a lot more complete, lot better, I'm assuming, than it was from grade 10 to grade 12.
Oh
So
yeah.
how would you describe your play right now as you're going into your first college season?
Right now, I feel like I'm healthier than ever. I'm faster than ever. I'm stronger than ever for sure. and my mentality has just been up there ever since I just couldn't finish what I wanted to start at the end of my grade 12 football season this year. Couldn't get it done. I just knew right away that I'm not having that feeling ever again. I've just been doing whatever I could and can to really get there.
Right on, right on. And what are some things that you're going to be looking to work on this off season and in preparation to get ready for camp?
Uh, that's a good question, huh? Definitely eating right, because I know getting to the next level is just a whole nother level. You got meal plans, you got workouts and whatnot. So I feel like if I get myself prepared for that early, like right now, then I definitely won't have a problem with that when I'm out there.
And speaking of meal plans, it's something that as the years have gone on, it's something that a lot more athletes and just amateur athletes are focusing on a lot more. But I feel like it's a very underrated aspect of the game getting better. So how important do you really think it is to eat right and get your body in shape for game day and just in general?
Oh, that's almost ritualistic. Like, before every game, all my friends know I have the same amount of meal. I have the same meal, do the same workout, go get a massage from my therapist, and then roll out, do all that good stuff. I just have recovery is everything, and preparation, recovery is just everything. Everything. That's about 80% of your success right there.
Right on, right on. I definitely feel that. So what does your meal plan look like right now?
Right now, in the mornings, I have eggs, avocado, and toast. Got a light smoothie or some chocolate milk. Then lunch, I get rice and fish. Uh, put some broccoli on the side if you want. And then dinner, I usually just have pasta. It's already made for me, so it's just that same three meal every day. And then, yeah.
Have you found as the years have gone on and as you've played at a higher level that you've had to kind of tweak your meal plan a bit and change it up?
Yeah, and every athlete's different. There's just some foods that like your body won't let you eat and play with, man. So as soon as you find that out, then you can start planning your meal from there, and then yeah, it just goes on.
Right on, right on. So getting back to the Broncos, had a chance to look at their record, their stats last year. They finished 0-10, 92 points for. So as a running back, as the offensive player as you are you hoping to change that, obviously, in your first year?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Me and the head coach, Coach Vanke, he was also actually a Dakota alumni. Um, we were just talking all throughout the season about like what can I do to make this program stand out? What can I do to make this program stand out? And then he was just telling me, man, sign with us, we'll get it done. We'll get it done. We'll find a way. And I really believe him. I really believe him. So if there's anything he knows is how to coach a football team, and it's going to be his first year head coaching, and I'm excited to run with them, man.
Nice, nice. And how do you think your game will? What part of your game do you think will be able to elevate that offense into taking that next step?
Oh, I think being a versatile running back, being able to catch the ball, being able to go out on routes, hitting the slot sometimes, I think that's for sure what's going to amplify our offense. Having two-way players, and just, yeah, for sure. But definitely being able to run the ball really hard and being able to break a defender down and make a catch here and there. So,
Right on, right on. And so plans for after college, are there plans to continue playing football, taking that next step, not in college, sorry, but after the Canadian Junior Football League?
yeah, for sure. After the CJFL, I hope to do maybe 1 or 2 years in the CJFL and then definitely move on to the NCAA level, or the CIS level, and maybe pro. We'll see.
Right on, right on. I like that. I like that. So, day one in camp, you get to camp. What is your goal? What's your goal? Day one from practice, like to set that first impression.
Oh, first, off the field, I want everybody to know that I'm just someone you could talk to. and I'm just really a guy who's gonna be open with everybody. And yeah, but on the field, I'm gonna let them know that I'm the hammer and they're the nail.
Just let them know you're the boss, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah, right on, right on. Well, Hubert, we're going to take our first commercial break and maybe our only commercial break of the show. We're going to hear from our supportive sponsors here supporting the show, and it's just going to take about 10 seconds. So stay with us, Hubert. It's been awesome talking with you so far. But yeah, we're going to hear from our supportive sponsors supporting the show. So stay with us.
At Collins Hotel, we have you and your family's comfort in mind. Relax in one of our 16 suites featuring king or queen-size beds and 36-inch TVs. Suites also include a mini fridge and other kitchen appliances to make your stay as comfortable as possible. During your stay in Pilot Mound, visit Weiser's Restaurant, our attached family-friendly restaurant and bar. It is the perfect location to host group meals, dine with the family, or unwind after a hockey game. Come in and meet our friendly staff offering daily specials on food and drinks, wing night Wednesdays, buffet Fridays, and multiple TVs to watch the game. Weiser's is the place to be. Collins Hotel and Weiser's Restaurant and Bar, located across the street from Blackjack Stewart Arena off Highway 3 in Pilot Mound.
Back here on Coffee with Graeme with your host, Graeme Forsyth, and just talking to Hubert Sindikubwabo of the Kamloops Broncos. Just signed a deal with the Kamloops Broncos on National Signing Day. And I forgot to point this out, but I like the nickname, man. Little Hubby Vert. That's sick.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I also saw your social media too. ISO Hubby is your name. I gotta say, I really like that name as well. It's really creative, really cool. But what was kind of the inspiration behind that?
Yeah, so me and a couple of my teammates, when I used to play basketball, played on Junior Bisons. We just kind of thought up one day, I don't know, let's call ourselves the ISO boys, you know? So we just all put ISO in front of our names on Instagram, just kind of made a little click, if you might say. And we just kind of ran with it. It was pretty cool.
Awesome, awesome. And speaking of Instagram, I wanted to touch on this earlier, but I forgot. Just the support that you guys, just the football community in Winnipeg gets by all your friends and just your peers in general, just congratulating you about the signing. Do you feel like there's a different culture in Winnipeg than in other places when it comes to that?
Oh, definitely, for sure. It's really something when people sign from Winnipeg or such a small town, because it's just such a home vibe here. Everyone's gonna love you and support you, and I think that's just the best thing ever. Just people that I just rarely talk to or just barely said hi to at school, or just tell me congratulations, and it feels super nice to know that like I have these people in my corner. It's
Yeah.
great.
It's awesome that they're backing you and whatever you're
Mm-hmm.
doing. That's awesome. So moving to your high school career in football, you played year one in St. Paul's. It was your first year. How was that first year in St. Paul's really like, just getting there? Of course, the expectation of playing for St. Paul's. They're such a historically a pretty prestigious school when it comes to football. But how was that experience really like?
Yeah, it was crazy. First year ever touching a football or running with the football, and you're going to a team that hasn't lost on their home field up to 2016 ever.
Wow.
So it was just big, big, big expectations there. But you learn quickly that, it's just all about the mind. You just got to tell your mind you'll do it, and you do it. And yeah, I did have some struggles though with like learning the playbook and stuff like that. But I definitely had people there to help me out with that, and just progressed and got easier and easier.
So you said that your first year playing high school football was your first year playing football in general. So
Yeah.
what was the decision to really make that jump and play football?
By my physicality playing basketball, like I told you before, a lot of the physical education teachers at St. Paul's just kind of looked at me one day and were like, why do you not play football? And then just always told them, parents thought it was too risky for me. And, they convinced my parents one day. I got my best friend's mom to, convince my parents, and they let me try out. And me just going to their tryout, that was just the best feeling in the world. I didn't think I'd make the varsity team on my first ever time playing football, but it was just nice seeing that, like, it's just a beautiful sport, camaraderie all around, and I was glad I got picked.
And football, there's obviously in every sport, there's a level of family and just you're their brother. Like everyone on the team is brothers, but do you feel like it's a bit different in football than in any other sport you played?
Oh yeah, definitely, because I don't think in high school at least, there really isn't a locker room for any other sport other than hockey and football. So I mean, I don't really know what goes on in the hockey locker room, but for football, man, after all those practices, you're just tired of being on the field. You just want to go home, but you got to be there, so you might as well have fun being there with your boys. So it's just always around each other, and I love it.
Awesome, awesome. So what was your biggest strength coming into your first year, never even touching football? Would you say it was your strength?
I don't know really if I had any strengths, but definitely being a coachable player. Uh, Being a coachable player is something that I got from playing basketball. So I just wanted to go in there not knowing anything, just soak up everything that I can get, and just, imply it in whatever I did, and it worked out.
And do you think that you said you're a coachable player? Coachability is such a big thing. I think it's pretty underrated because you could be one of the most skilled athletes, but if you're kind of ignorant and arrogant, you're not gonna sit well with your teammates and stuff. But do you think that coachability kind of gets overlooked sometimes?
Oh, for sure. Um, Especially now too, some people just think that if you're this good, you're just don't need to worry about this and this, but that's completely wrong. Coaches can get a player who's just a hard worker instead of a 5-star right here. He just doesn't want to get up in the morning for 6 a.m. workouts.
Yeah.
So
And talking about your biggest strengths coming into year one, what would you say your biggest weakness was coming into your first year of playing football?
mentioned it earlier, but
Yeah.
forgetting plays. I just didn't know what to expect when I saw a playbook. I looked at it. I was like, what is this number? What's that? What's a slant? What's a dig? I was so confused. But yeah, for sure. I just talked to my other running backs, and they just helped me out with it, coached me pretty much through everything. And yeah, really
Nice.
grateful.
And you talked about you had mentors in basketball when we were talking about it earlier, but were there any big mentors on your team first year playing St. Paul's?
Let's see. Oh yeah, there was. Cordell Francis. He was a receiver. He's a senior receiver. Great guy. He was just a film junkie. He knew everything and everything about our playbook. So if you needed to know something, it was from that guy. So I made sure day one I was gonna be friends with that guy, and yeah, turned out to be good.
And that's something really you worked on, is really learning your playbook and really watching film throughout your first year, I'm assuming. Right on, right on. So you guys went on a run in your first year playing St. Paul's, got that championship. What was that? I know it's kind of cliche, but what was that feeling really like for you hoisting that championship trophy?
Ooh, best feeling in the world, and you really can't say it until you've experienced it. And yeah, it is a cliche, but once you're there, you know that all that hard work just paid off, and it just feels so beautiful holding that in front of all those fans, seeing everyone scream and yell for you, and just going back to school the next Monday, having everybody give you high fives and just chest bumps, and it was a great feeling.
That's sick. That's sick. So after you guys won the championship, after your championship season, you in year 2 you decide to transfer to Dakota Collegiate. So after winning the championship, having that success in St. Paul's as a team, was the reason you transferred because you wanted more playing time, more eyes on you, just more playing time in general?
Yeah, I felt like my first year we had about 5 or 6 running backs on that squad. Especially me being a first-year player, I didn't really see myself fitting in that depth chart going on to my grade 11 and 12 season. We had great guys like Tanner Frobisher, he's playing on with U of M. Zach Wynn, he's playing on with U of M. T. Jesse signed with Carleton Ravens. Just great guys on that team that, so I just felt like if I really was going to make it, I had to do it by myself. So transferred, went locally to Dakota Lancers, and honestly, best choice I've ever made.
That's great to hear, man. That's great to hear. Always nice when you make that choice that's right for you, and it definitely paid off. You had a heck of a senior year, but before we get into that, I know I was talking to you about this yesterday, but the transfer rules didn't allow you to play. You're only a practice player in your junior year. So what was that experience like, not being able to play in any games, just being a practice player?
Yeah, and it was super tough because the time also that I transferred at was January, just when like schools opened back from winter break. So that meant my grade 10 football season was over, but my grade 10 basketball season was about to begin. So when I transferred, I couldn't play grade 10 basketball, and then I couldn't play grade 11 football because it was just like counteracting. So it was just 2 sports I couldn't play, and it was, oh man, that was so tough. But yeah, I just told myself, you just got to keep doing it, keep going to practice, show the coaches that you're here, man, and then it'll all pay off, and it did.
Did being a practice player make you understand obviously, like, you've always putting in the work very seriously, but being a practice player, designated a practice player only, did it kind of give you a different appreciation of what practice can bring you?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, it was really frustrating just knowing that, hey, I can be out there helping you guys, but, I just can't. But so practicing for sure made me realize that the preparation it takes to get to that level is immense, and you really shouldn't cheat it,
Yeah, for sure. And what type of, I'm assuming since you had, you're only a practice player, you're putting in a lot of work off the field as well. How much work did you really put in off the field during that year?
We had about 2 basketball workouts a week and 3 football workouts a week. So basically spanning that in 7 days, where we have 2 days off, and once every day is football, basketball, just working on different things. So yeah, always working, always working.
And it seemed like you had a pretty positive mindset, more positive than any other person. I know if I was only designated a practice player, I'd be chomping at the bit to get out there and frustrated. But it seems like you stayed positive. How important do you think it is for anybody else who is going to go through this situation to stay positive and keep a high head?
Oh, it's so important, because once you lose that confidence and positivity, you're just subjected to just fall into stuff that you don't want to fall into. So really, you just have to have good people in your corner that are telling you, hey, this is what you need to do, and keep doing it till you get there. And I was glad I had people like that, like my varsity basketball coach, Dean Favoni, probably my biggest mentor of my whole life right now. Had a couple guys from teams I played on, and yeah, it was just great.
Nice. So going into your senior year, your final year of football and just sports in general. So how is that preparation different than any other year you were going into?
The preparation was just hey, this is going to be the last time you're here. Might as well make it be memorable. So every time I was just down on myself and didn't want to wake up for a workout or just didn't want to do this, I would just say, hey, man, you got to do this. You got to leave your mark. Now's the time. And just went up and did it. Nothing else.
And your debut as a Lancer went pretty good, I'm assuming. You guys got the win, but how was that debut really like? I see the Lancer jersey behind you, but
Oh, yeah.
how was it like to wear that jersey for the first time?
Oh, man, it was actually, that is I don't know if I can flip a camera or something, but that's my Lancer jersey right there.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Wait.
The 21. Yeah.
Nice.
Oof. And then that first game, it was something special. I remember I came out of there, had 2 touchdowns, a couple catches, like 100-something yards rushing, but that wasn't it. It was because our head coach, we just signed a new head coach, Mitchell Harrison.
Yeah.
He coached over at Sisler, and our first game back was against Sisler. And, yeah, just winning that game for him back at his home school, especially it being my first game back too, it was just all love and emotions, and it's a great day.
Emotions we're at a all-time high for sure. So how was you were a practice player for a year? Obviously, practice makes you better, but you can't really accommodate for game speed in practice because that level of hitting isn't there. But how was that adjustment really like going back to game speed?
Oh yeah, at first couple carries I had got knocked down pretty hard, and I was just like, whoa, it's not like you're hitting pads now. You're hitting 250-pound men. So yeah, I just had to went off to the sideline after the first series. Looked up at my coaches, and I was just like, okay, I'm not getting like that ever again. So went back out there and then changed it around, and we ended up, I think, pumping Sisler like 36-3 or nothing, something like that.
Awesome. So you guys had a heck of a season, going 6-1. You guys had a winning streak of like 6 games at one point, but there were big games throughout the season. But I bet no game was bigger for you personally than the match against St. Paul's. You going to St. Paul's, playing your former team again in your first year back, playing a full season of high school ball. How did that really feel?
Oh man, that was so fun. Just seeing everybody I used to play with now on the other side wanting to get at me. I wanted to get at them. It was just brotherly love,
Yeah.
We didn't end up winning, but we did beat them in football, and that was probably the best game of my life.
That's awesome. So, season high game against Murdoch McKay. You broke
Sir.
something like over 100 yards. I think you had a TD as well, but yeah, just take me through that game, man.
Oh man, the Murdoch game was a must-win game. We came off. We were, I think, 5-0 at that time. We were tied. There's a 3-way tie in the league for first place. Us, St. Paul's, and Steinbach. We were all 5-0. St. Paul's and Steinbach played that week, and Steinbach lost. And then we played that week against Murdoch, so it was a must-win for us to be solidified as first because we had already beat St. Paul's. And yeah, as soon as we played them, we just went out there and said, hey, we can't take nothing short. This team might be coming up from a lower division, but can't take them lightly at all. So, yeah, went out there. First half was really slow. Their quarterback, Carter Kutsan, heck of a player, just running all over us, defense. They ran a tricky run pass option, but after halftime, as soon as we got that figured out, boys just started rolling, and we ended up winning, I think, 38-14, and yeah, going on to semifinals.
Nice. And talking about the playoff run, obviously not the result you guys wanted, didn't get to the finals, but yeah, just it was your last run as a player, as a high school player playing football. How was that run personally for you?
Oh, it was everything and everything I could have ever expected, you know. Basically, my last year was my second year playing football. Uh, and really all I wanted to do was just go out, have fun. I really wanted the ring though, but we just couldn't get it done, unfortunately. But leaving that field, I knew that I gave it my all for sure. I had nothing to be sad about, nothing to cry about, um, except that it was over, you know. But
Yeah.
after that, we were just good. We knew that we were gonna play after after high school, so I wasn't really too worried about that. But I just do feel for the kids that don't have the chance to play post secondary,
Yeah.
and yeah.
It's great to know that you stayed positive though, because after a loss like that, your last ever game in New Jersey, last ever game playing a high school sport or any sport in general, because you have to age out, it's definitely tough. But awesome that you have that positive mindset. I'm gonna leave you with this one question before I let you go here. But from your first year playing high school football, you said that you didn't really know, you can tell what the different routes were. You were a bit inexperienced, but going into your senior year, you had a great season. What self improvement throughout that year and just throughout your career did you see last year?
I saw a big improvement in mentally and physically. Mentally being just going through a whole year of practice. It's really tough, and coming out of that, I felt so strong. I just felt like nothing could really break me down. You know, no little workout can break me down. You know, no 260-pound D lineman can break me down. I just felt unstoppable, and I think that was the biggest thing I got out of that.
And I bet you're carrying that mentality into camp when you hit Kamloops training camp, I'm assuming.
For sure, for sure.
Awesome. Well, Hubert, or should I say a little Happy Vert, thanks for joining the show today. And man, it would be great to have you on again in the future. Just let me know if you want to come on again, and we'll happily do that. Good luck in your college season, and I hope you all the best with
You too.
Kamloops and in education. Thanks, man. You take care, buddy.
All right.
And that's Hubert Sindikubwabo of the Kamloops Broncos, or as he was calling himself, a little Hubby Bird. And man, love that nickname. Just love it. Love the energy that kid has. And yeah, he's going to do great things. Saw his highlights on Huddle. And yeah, kid plays with a lot of heart. But yeah, that's going to do it for today on the network with your host, Graeme Forsyth of Coffee with Graeme. And once again, thanks to all our supporters, for everyone who supports the show, for tuning in today. Our viewers, you guys, along with our sponsors, make this show happen. Without any of you guys, this wouldn't happen. And of course, a big thanks to our sponsors, I said. But once again, you guys make this all happen with your choice to support us here on ASTV. And yeah, guys, that's going to do it for another episode of Coffee with Graeme here on the network. And once again, be safe out there. Quarantine, COVID-19 is still a thing, so stay safe. And just relax, grab a cup of Joe, sit back, and until next time, I'm your host, Graeme Forsyth of Coffee with Graeme, signing off. Have a good one.